The year is 1866, and Henry C. Jarrett and Henry Palmer have an idea. They want to take the best aspects of the stage productions they've seen in London and Paris and bring them to New York and put on a show here. Their plan doesn't go exactly how they expect it to, but they end up helping to create a spectacular blockbuster production that, according to some scholars, is the prototype for the modern musical. So how do you define a musical? Well, it has a consistent narrative and characters all the way through like a play, but in addition to spoken dialogue, it also has an equal balance of singing and dancing by the performers, all of which serve to advance the plot. Jarrett and Palmer, as they do their tour of Europe, they buy expensive moving scenery from London, they hire dancers from Paris, with the plan to start bringing everyone over to New York City for a show at the Academy of Music on 14th Street and put on a spectacular review of various numbers and lots of dancing. But there's an issue. The theater burns down before they can get there. So they turn to the next best spot in town, Niblo's Garden. It's a little hard to imagine today, but Niblo's, an elaborate pleasure garden, was once located right here on Broadway and was today Soho, extending a full block over to Crosby, up to Houston Street, and down to Prince. First opened in 1833, they add a 3,200-seat theater in 1849 on the corner of Broadway and Prince Street. By 1866, when Jarrett and Palmer get in touch with Niblo's, there's already a German folklore-inspired play booked to open there called The Black Crook. The playwright, Charles Barris, is convinced, with some financial incentive, to team up with Jarrett and Palmer and put on a show that combines some of his plot with some of their songs and some new music that matches the story. On the opening night, the play runs for 5.5 hours, but proves to be a hit. The big inducement seems to be the gratuitous, for the time, amount of flesh on display by the female performers. Critics both praise the spectacle and condemn its shallowness and salacious nature, but attacks on the show's risque content only serves to drive in more business. The show, slightly shortened after the first night, is a hit and runs for 474 performances, a record at the time, with subsequent tours and revivals in the 1870s and even a silent film version in 1916. So is it the first musical? Well, there's a lively debate about other shows that might deserve that title instead. Ultimately, it's the huge success that sets it apart, demonstrating that this kind of combination of songs, plot, and performance can be massively popular and lucrative, and pave the way for an industry that is perhaps New York's most quintessential art form and business.